The FBI arrested a Pakistani national man with ties to Iran, maybe, on charges that he plotted to assassinate Donald John Trump. This guy right here.
He's got the head shape of an assassin.
Right? Asif Merchant.
Or a chess player.
He looks efficient, like he's going to efficiently plan an assassination.
Oh, yeah! Good morning! And episode 1519 of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, August 7th, 2024. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80-ish% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/Hard Factor for more. If you need more, I'm sure you do. Today, we've got the man corner with Mark. Yeah, brother. Get ready for the man corner.
Hell yeah. That's why we've always called you Man Mark.
That's right. I mean, my name does start M-A. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a man.
Yep. 2/3 of the way there. All the way man. Taking it all the way man in the man corner.
And male, you know?
Yep. Both. And
the male man.
It's going to get musky in the man corner.
Yeah.
A lot of like gym equipment. Okay. That includes VP candidate Walz.
To the windows.
But it might be to the walls. To the walls.
Waltz?
Yeah. I don't know.
Did the sweat drop down his balls?
Balls.
Yeah.
I just took that song away from being played in my Spotify. You know, you're gonna
why?
Because I want that song out of my. I wanted that song out of my life since we went to college the year that song came out. Will, that was a problem.
Dude, I just introduced my wife. Somehow doesn't know about the thong song, so I did that.
Thong song's okay with me.
Yeah, thong song is a classic banger.
Does she know about Unleash the Dragon, or did she miss that whole Cisco album?
She didn't know anything about Cisco. She had no idea Cisco existed. Blew her mind with the thong song.
You should take her back to Drew Hill.
Yeah, I should.
Fun fact about the thong song: Ricky Martin owns like most of the publishing for it because they didn't clear the Livin' La Vida Loca before it came out, and Ricky Martin had Cisco over a barrel.
I thought you were going to say he owns a lot of thongs.
Such a small part of the song. Yeah. It's just one line.
You got to clear it before it comes out. Otherwise, you're effed.
I feel bad for Cisco now because I mean he really goes crazy about the thong. That's what makes the thong song so great. He gets into it at the end, the last chorus. I mean,
baby, movie,
it's
like
amazing.
A truck.
It dumps like a truck. Yeah,
dude, there hasn't been a song about ladies' underwear in a long time.
Like a truck, baby. Come on. Let me sing it again.
Dude, the thong song's probably the number one. No, I mean, Back That Ass Up is the number one song about asses, probably, or maybe Sir Mix-a-Lot, but
I think Sir Mix-a-Lot takes it.
I like the thong song. Lie.
Yeah, thong song deserves more credit than it gets. I'll say that.
I thought Cisco was going to be like the next Michael Jackson. I was so into that album when it came out. Thong song. I was like, this guy's going straight to the top. But I thought that about Skilo too.
Went all in on Cisco.
When you dip, I dip, we dip.
Yeah, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller.
Wait, who am I thinking of?
Yes, that was Skilo.
When I put my hand up, when I dip, you dip. That's
I don't know.
Freak Nasty. Sorry, that was Freak Nasty.
deep cut. Okay, outside of Vice President Walz, which got us there. We're also talking another foiled assassination attempt with Pat here.
Yeah, man, this one's pretty. Well, I don't know. We're gonna get into it. I got it in depth. It's pretty crazy. Maybe it might be not that crazy. We're gonna get into it. You should stick around. Pakistani national trying to kill a bunch of American politicians. He got busted. Also, now that we're in the 15s, I love looking up 1519. It's the episode number. What took place? Leonardo da Vinci died that year, and the Spanish conquest of Mexico took place. So.
Fantastic. I like this trend. I want to hear about 1520 tomorrow.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
it's got to be a big year, with the numbers like that, 15, 20.
Well, after Da Vinci died, there's probably some chaos going on.
It's going to pump people up to do big things,
Yeah.
I mean, 2020 was a hell of a year, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
It was maybe a little too much. People did too much.
Good.
Can't even remember any of it.
Did a little too much there. And then I've got a few very surprising story updates with pretty huge ramifications for the people affected by these surprise updates. So stick around. Surprise is sometimes good, oftentimes bad,
Yeah. Sometimes good, oftentimes bad. Yeah,
I
that's
don't
fair.
like surprises. That's a real manly thing to say.
Well, speaking of manly, I got
Manscaped more 5.0 Ultra. It's the best.
Manscaped sponsoring this segment. Get your Manscaped. Use code HARDFACTOR, manscaped.com. Yeah, I got the man corner today. We're men. Let's talk about some men. First up, I called it on yesterday's show. Kamala Harris picked 60-year-old Minnesota governor Tim from the window to the walls. As her
Did you call that?
Did call. Yes, he did. He called it so clearly.
I remember,
And
yeah.
Mark, did you not bet on it though?
And guess who stared at the predicted odds all week when Walz was 17 cents and 19 cents, and I had some money in my account, and I was like, I should put it in something. I got a good hunch on Walz, And guess who's a coward though? Me. Who needs?
You had it you had it 2 or 3 days early. Yeah,
a 6x.
It was a tough call.
Ooh, no, but he nailed it. Like it was when we were talking Veep potential candidates on that whatever segment that was. Mark called Walz, whatever we called him at the time.
I called him Walz.
Yeah, but he hit. It hit.
And then I didn't do the damn dance on predicted. Well,
You would have been like,
why not Shapiro? I thought he was like wasn't he the favorite? On
according to Scott Pressler of the Resistance, that weirdo, it's because he's Jewish. And then I was like, wait a minute.
Weren't a lot of the candidates?
What's Kamala's husband's last name?
I have some ideas why. And this is why I thought he was going to win. And I think that they just did it in Philadelphia, the announcement, because it is an important state, but that didn't mean they were going to pick the guy from Pennsylvania, Shapiro. So what do we know about Walz? Well, the Dems seem to like him. He's been endorsed by pretty much everyone from Bernie Sanders to Joe Manchin. So the whole spectrum. Some are even calling him on the right, or calling him, he's a Nebraska native, by the way. Some are calling him that he's Bernie Sanders in hunting gear. So some people are saying, which is hilarious.
But Kayleigh McEnany called him
image in your head, right?
A radical in sheep's clothing.
Bernie Sanders in hunting gear is my favorite.
A radical in sheep's clothing. I mean, that's what they call Biden. That's what they call Kamala. That's just the Republicans' go-to thing. That's like calling a right guy a MAGA extremist. It's like the same.
Those aren't that bad of names if you're thinking about it. Like, really. He's a former teacher and state champion high school football coach. Like I said, he was born in Nebraska, raised in Nebraska. He moved to Minnesota, obviously, where he's governor. He is a veteran, like J.D. Vance. Walz served 24 years in the Army National Guard. He got all the way up to the rank of Commander Sergeant Major. He's also got a gnarly DUI in 1995. He was going 95 and a 45, so it's 50 over there. When the cops,
he's got an old DUI.
Yeah, it was when he was it was when he was the high school coach, and most high school football coaches get some of those. So he was just playing.
How old the job?
He was in his 20s.
He's 60 now. This was almost exactly 30 years ago. So he was like what, 31?
He's 40.
30. No, he's 31.
You said 1995. He was born.
Yeah, that's 30 years ago, right? Or is that
okay? Yeah, he was born in 64. Yeah, you're right.
30 years ago. He's
31. Coach, he got off practice. They must have had either a really good game or a bad game. He had.
Is that his only charge ever? Is a fucking DUI?
So far, he's pretty clean.
He didn't kill anybody. I mean,
no, he didn't. So far, so when the cops pulled him over, they said he reeked of alcohol and tried to talk to him, but he didn't communicate and said it was because he was deaf. Something that has since been corrected. Since been corrected with surgery. And now listen, hang on a second.
Shut up. He played deaf.
He played deaf. Now, we have a friend of the program we talked about a few times, many times on the show, that had a similar surgery. He was like mostly deaf in 1 year, always had to put the silly putty in when he went in the pool. Juice over there in Florida. He got a surgery and that made it a lot better, I think. So I'm not going to go all the way Prince Andrew. I didn't sweat back then, but now I do. It's possible that he was mostly deaf and he got the surgery or partially deaf.
He's hamming it up. It's like somebody who could barely see who says that they're blind. You know what I mean?
Right. It's at a minimum a convenient excuse to not slur your words in front of the cops.
You got to use what you can use.
Use what you can use. Yeah. I don't put this. I mean, that's an old DUI. You can't hold that somebody again.
Did you guys see that video?
That's not bad if that's all he has.
At the time, that's his only skeleton. He's also, producer Eric says Shapiro's Israel stance loses Gen Z. That's what.
Okay. Did you guys see that video of that Gen Zer who got pulled over for DUI and used every potential thing to get out of it? She was like a Native American with low glucose and triggered by police. And she threw everything at this cop, and he was like, "You drunk, lady? Here's a DUI."
Yeah.
So back to that, related to like Shapiro and why he wasn't picked or whatever. I think the reason I was going with Walz, in my opinion, is that they don't need the Gen Z vote. They kind of already did that with Kamala. So
I need a guy who looks like he takes shits, like old
60-year-old guy that was born in Nebraska that could give them a chance in Wisconsin. I think the reason they're going for this older, a lot of boomers are probably
for
the other generations past millennials. It's for the older generations.
Boomers, I don't think are like some of them are super thrilled with Biden, but I think there's a lot in the middle that maybe aren't super thrilled. So they need to try to win. Make sure
that's why I thought they were going with a Midwest guy, a little bit older. He seems pretty clean and likable, so that's what they went with. Walz, whatever. And he's the pick.
If I was him, I'd go by Walz because there's a lot more you can do with that. Walz, especially as a Walz. Yeah, you're waltzing all over, especially as a politician, right?
He could do the dance.
WALZ's right in the middle. You could go Waltz or Walz.
Well, he could be the Walrus, right?
Walrus.
Right. He could
kind of looks.
He could tell. He could
go like a Fu Manchu though. He has no facial hair.
He could say he's gonna, if he becomes vice president, the administration is gonna make China do Walz sits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or he could be called the Great Wall. So.
Yeah.
And they can say, build the walls. They already, if I'm in the White House, that's the only walls you need.
Exactly. There you go. It might be Walz, by the way. I didn't confirm. It could be either or. We're idiots. We don't do good. We don't do good with the pronunciations.
Oh, so producer Eric brings a great point. He's also the guy that started the whole calling Republicans weird trend. That was his clip.
So that's why he got it.
What one of the VP nod was.
That was trendy.
That trend of Republicans are weird,
dude. You know what's weirder than that? That was directed at JD Vance. I feel like mostly. And JD Vance had to do a similar thing to get into the VP position. He had to go and grovel on Fox News in a weird way.
After attacking Trump before. Yeah. It's the same deal. That's politics. You gotta play the game. But speaking of JD Vance and Walz, that's going to be the most boring Veep debate of all time. Is anybody? I mean, are we going to watch that one? I know we have to, kind of, but
one guy's like weird and unlikable, and the other guy's kind of quiet and likable,
quiet and old.
Yeah, he's just kind of he's kind of calm. And now, if there are more DUIs and skeletons in the closet, they will definitely come out as things are heating up as we approach November. Also, one thing to note that now the Harris team only had 2 weeks to vet their choices, which is like a fourth of the time this process usually takes. So
hopefully there's like some surprise dark horse skeletons coming out.
They couldn't vet the shit out of everybody, right? So they think he's safe, but we'll see.
How soon till his DUI comes out? Can we bet on that? If there is the debate between the vice presidents, will his DUI get called out by Vance?
Yes.
JD Vance? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He will use all the dirty things at his disposal.
They'll make commercials about DUIs.
Well, I don't know if Vance will say it specifically, but they will make sure they pay for like 5 commercials about his DUI during the debate.
Any mud will be slung, Pat, on both sides. Hey, got a few more men for you though, and both of them are shirtless, man style. If we're done with Walz, we can do that. Women can't with the whole shirtless thing. Sorry, ladies, we don't make the rules.
I don't know.
We don't make the rules. Oh wait, yes we do, because we're men.
True.
Yeah, it seems like we messed that rule up.
I agree, Pat. I'm going to write the Men's Society and say maybe women should be allowed to go topless here. Men's Society.
Yeah, I mean, topless should be okay for everybody. I think that's it's 2024.
As long as they're not feeding their kids out of those titties, I'm okay with seeing them.
We'll work on that, ladies. We'll do that for you. Hey, here's a shirtless guy, 26-year-old, three-named Eric Nicholas Gapko. Gapko popped the top on a recent American Airlines flight from Seattle, Washington to Dallas, Texas. That was his foreshadowing that he was about to go nuts. He's got to tell. Yeah.
It's a move. Yeah, go popping the top on the plane.
Yeah.
Woo!
Especially if you're not engaged.
Steam, man.
If you're engaged in an argument, you pop the top, I'm not worried. If you pop the top solo, like if you're engaged in an argument in your head and you pop the top, that's when you really need to sound the alarm.
That's what we're talking about here, Pat. This was and
Inner
look,
monologue, pop top.
when the shirt comes off and the eyes roll to the back of the head, you're in trouble with ENG here, Eric Nicholas Gapko. So the in this case, the "you're" was a particular flight attendant, and then every passenger on board as ENG assaulted and intimidated a flight attendant, and then the aircraft crew members in general, and then attempted to open exterior cabin doors, quote, multiple times before being restrained. So he was really bebopping and scotting. It started off relatively tame as ENG just propositioned the flight attendant for sex at first and started vaping in front of her face, maybe to impress her with how cool he looked.
Ooh, so cool.
Smoking's cool.
Maybe this will change your mind.
You've seen my body, right?
Yeah, sure. Exactly. He's shirtless vaping and is like, maybe we have sex on this plane. She he's laid back. He's got these bad boy vapes when he shouldn't, where he shouldn't. But when she said, ew, no, gross, that's when he just lost it.
Doesn't sit well with a guy like that. No.
Here he is in action. They're gonna try to listen to him over the news, but he's got some good quotes in there.
Video shows flight staff trying to control a screaming man locked in the bathroom aboard an American Airlines flight between Seattle and Dallas in mid-July.
Hey, did you report that?
That man is identified in a federal grand jury indictment filed Wednesday as 26-year-old Eric Gapko of New Jersey. Documents saying he allegedly assaulted and intimidated a flight attendant, tried to open the aircraft exterior doors multiple times mid-flight, vaped on board, and bothered other passengers. Passengers apparently take matters into their own hands, helping flight crew tie up his hands and feet while the flight diverts to
got him.
Salt Lake City.
Yeah, big
potato, boy. I say potato.
Where video shows Salt Lake
He just starts singing random things. Anyone that shouts, I am sane while being restrained by other people is not usually sane.
Right. Yeah. What is it? Is it the fact that there are bars in airports? Because like a plane ticket is expensive. Usually that's like a barrier of entry, right?
That's like, but he's like on drugs plus alcohol, right? Like that's not like
it's so weird to me.
It's not just
such
like
a process.
If you want at the bar, and then you.
It's but you got to go through security. You know, you have the flight coming up. You bought the ticket. You get it's just there's so much going against you just having a nutso break, right? But then it keeps happening.
To Will's point, drugs, like people are nervous flying. So not only will they have a few, but they'll take medication. Sometimes they'll get prescribed medication.
A shitload of Xanax and then took a drink at the airport, whatever. I mean, usually you won't have a reaction like that. You'll just pass out. But like, I don't know what other fucking kind of, maybe he's just partying too. But yeah, I mean,
his go-to is to proposition flight attendants for sex while vaping on the plane shirtless. So, I mean, I don't think this is his. We'll see about Walz's background, but I have a feeling if you looked into ENGs, it would be this isn't the first.
Jared Lindsay says in the live chat, pills and planes, a recipe for fun. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way, and that's how they roll into a plane. And this guy just probably did too many pills and too many drinks at the airport. Yeah. I've always wanted to be in one of those planes though, where you just get you get the green light to just tee off on some guy. That would be kind of fun. Like, the like air marshal or whatever is like, everybody fuck him up. That would be kind of like, that would be awesome.
I can't get to him in time. Fuck him up.
Well, sometimes there's not an air marshal on the plane, and you gotta
or whatever, the flight attendants. Yeah. If they're like, all right,
can they deputize you?
It's open season. Fuck this guy up.
I think everyone's deputized the second someone tries to open the door on the plane when it's flying.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's an instant deputization.
That's when you're allowed to double leg him with extreme prejudice in the middle of the aisle, and everybody's going to cheer you on when you
can sit on. You can sit on his face.
Awesome situation.
Hard on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last man from shirtless on a plane to the even less classy shirtless on a bus. A 49-year-old man from Salisbury East in South Australia, who is not being named due to stupid overseas rules, got on a bus recently. He was shirtless and wearing blue gloves. Not the guy you want to see get on the bus if you're already on it.
No. No, dude. Absolutely not. Shirtless and blue gloves. No. Bad combo. Terrible combo. Milk and lemonade, man.
It's real bad.
You just
It's real
spit
bad.
your drink out.
Yeah. I mean, you can't help but look at him, but that's a real don't make too long of eye contact and hope he sits on a different section of the bus moment. A real I need to stop riding public buses moment.
Yeah. Big time.
Reality check. Yeah. Need to get a car. Yeah. You scribble it in your notes right away.
All right, this is it. Guess what? He immediately proved everyone right when he went straight up to a woman with a baby and snatched the baby. He then allegedly tried to start breastfeeding the baby himself.
Ooh. This is another situation. Free game. Bus driver's like, get this motherfucker.
At least he had gloves on to keep the germs off the baby.
No, I know, but
Baby involved.
knew
You
that.
have to be
I mean,
careful. You have to be cautious.
what we've learned is that if you want to start lactating and you're not lactating, it takes like months of sucking.
So you're saying that this is he homeless, Mark? Homeless man?
Well, he didn't pay his fare, so he's cheap if not.
He's trying to work it off.
Yeah. They mentioned he was a fare hopper, which of course, and they also mentioned that.
Pat, you think he wants to start lactating?
Yeah.
Well, it just takes such a long time to start lactating. You need someone sucking on that nipple like every day, all the time, not just one
That's a
session
menace.
with a random baby is going to get it.
You're
going.
not doing it
You
right.
got to lock this guy up.
They did. Will.
Yeah.
And they got the baby back, and then
Good,
all yelled at him, and he snapped out of it and sat in the back of the bus and patiently waited for the police to arrive and arrest him. Apparently, he was charged with aggravated assault, disorderly behavior, and he was refused bail. His first court appearance. Yeah, his first court appearance.
Crime.
Yeah, it's no bail for this guy. His first court appearance was this Monday, a few days ago. So not sure how it went, but probably not great.
No. No.
So, anyways, that's
Hell yeah.
Manscaped. Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Promo code Heart Factor.
Man, yeah, my balls are so smooth. I popped my top off this past weekend in Nashville. I popped it right off. There's that like a kind of like I love you so much situation going on in Nashville.
Yeah. I saw
Right?
the
It's,
pic. It was
it's
great,
like some
man.
wings, like where like you have wings, and I there was a bunch of bachelorettes waiting in line, and
The
I got in
base
that
was
line,
strong.
and I got right up there and popped my top off.
hell yeah.
Look good.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to read a truth to you from a Truth Social post from April 5th, 2023.
Truth us.
You can guess who wrote it after I'm done reading it. Republicans in Congress should defund the DOJ and the FBI until they come to their senses. The Democrats have totally weaponized law enforcement in our country and are viciously using this abuse of power to interfere with our already under siege elections.
Ooh.
Who said it?
Trump.
Donald J. Trump.
We saw.
The FBI arrested a
Well,
Pakistani national.
It's also a truth. He's the only person I know who truths.
Who
things.
truths,
So
right, yes.
When you say it's the truth, I automatically know it's a Trump. Because it's
kinda
he should just
genius
change it to
name.
a Trump. He should change it from a truth to a
To
Trump.
a Trump.
Because it's him. It's always him.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a truth from guess who? Donald Trump. So just change it to a Trump, and then there's no need for the translation.
You also could have mentioned the formatting, Pat. It was
That's right. All caps.
all caps.
His,
All
signature,
caps.
his signature move. Yeah.
Yeah. Glad the Republicans.
Do you think he's just had the caps lock jammed on his keyboard?
Dude, how do you
Past-
even do that? Yes, you
Oh,
got to
never
keep it.
comes off.
That's a setting in
Always
settings.
on.
You
Yeah,
can't
setting
get
the
that on
settings,
just the
sure.
keyboard.
Automatically caps lock. Yes.
I bet he's glad that the Republicans in Congress did not defund the FBI because the FBI arrested a Pakistani national man with ties to Iran, maybe, on charges that he plotted to assassinate Donald John Trump. This guy right here,
He's got
Asif
the head shape of an assassin.
assassin, right? Asif merchant.
or a
He
chess
looks-
player.
He looks efficient, like he's gonna
Yeah.
efficiently plan an assassination.
Yeah.
So here's what
Triangular
happened.
head. Yeah.
According to ABC News, back in April, after spending some time in Iran, Asif merchant flew from Pakistan to the Estados Unidos to recruit hitmen to carry out the alleged plot, and that's according to the detention memo. And unfortunately for Asif, the country he comes from, Pakistan, is lacking in two crucial things that I cannot live without. One is air conditioning. The other is Peacock's 24/7 Dateline channel. And the latter of which could have really saved Asif some serious jail time, because had he been a consumer of NBC's longest-running primetime show, he would know that 99% of the time when you try to hire a hitman, that hitman is almost exclusively not a hitman, but a confidential informant.
It's a honeypot.
Exactly.
From
And
the
you can't
FBI or
even do the
CIA.
thing. It's a myth. You can't be like, you're not a cop, are you? Because they can say
Nope.
no. And then
Nope.
you're like, oh, good. Then it's all good then. Good.
You also would have learned that.
Yeah.
Did he use the one that is so obvious, like hireahitman.com? Did he use the one that's like an obvious parody, and then
No,
they
but
they like tell you they're sending it to the FBI?
So this is I teased at the top of the show. This might be a legitimate threat. It might not. This did happen. This guy tried to do that, from what I can tell. And he was flying between Syria and Iraq and Iran and Pakistan and then to Houston, Texas. But how do you find a hitman? I don't know. Is it hitman.com? Like, you just roll into Houston and you just start asking weird looking dudes? Like, how does it happen? How did he end up in the same hunt? Did he go to the gym?
Based on movies, you go to the seediest bar during the daytime.
Yeah,
I think you go to the
Bars,
gym and find a roid head.
bars, gym, locker rooms, and then Craigslist ads where you're like, I have a problem I need to take care of.
Right. And then a gay dude shows up to suck your dick.
Yeah.
Usually.
I'm going to assassinate that cock.
Is this the problem you were talking about? I'm eager to get to work solving.
And then you get confused and you're like, I guess this is the price of hiring a hitman, and you let him suck your
This
dick.
is part of the process.
And then all of a sudden,
Like, I don't understand the cultural customs. I'm new to America.
you never hear back from him. You're waiting on a call from this hitman.
I am new to America. Okay.
I got to have my dick sucked by 5 guys at least.
Step 1 complete.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Assalamu alaikum, brother. How's it going down there? It's a little weird, but I'm making progress.
He's been tricked so many times that when he finds a real hitman, he just whips it out. He's like, okay,
Okay, you first, then we get
official.
you get the talking. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, the reason I brought up Syria is if you're flying to Syria, Iran, and Iraq, and Pakistan, probably you're involved in some sort of ISIS. You have some sort of terror cell connections. Maybe that's why he went to Houston. Maybe he knew someone there. I don't know. I know that the FBI, and this is where the FBI sucks. I know that the FBI injects undercovers into mosques to essentially, generally, almost always entrap guys that weren't thinking about considering terrorism into getting busted for committing terrorism they were never going to commit. That's like they're the kings of that, the FBI. But in this case, they did stop this would-be assassin, from what we can tell.
Good.
so he had plans. He was like,
Yeah, so
he was telling these guys that were sucking his dick.
right.
He wanted them to kill Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, Trump's name was not mentioned specifically.
Should I wait to tell the plan until you're done? Can you hear me? Well,
Okay, here we go.
pretty focused right now.
Here we go.
You multitasking or
I know the drill. I had some pineapple just for you, brother. Let's get it to work. Okay, now that you killed my erection,
on the way, Donald.
let's talk about. Now that you've killed my erection, let's talk about killing the former president. All right, now I gotta pull this photograph up from the hotel room. I wasn't gonna pull it up, but now that we're on this,
Oh yeah, we got to see his setup.
this thread. Yeah,
His
this is
casting couch.
this is the photo from the hotel room. And like, it looks like he maybe could have been getting his dick sucked in there. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Look at him
Yeah.
putting his hand down so strong on the table.
Yeah. So I'll put my penis here,
Yeah.
and then
That was
Okay,
never
all
going
right.
to happen for him.
back to the story. Okay, he was arrested on July 12th. Okay, when he was getting ready to board a flight back to Pakistan. Look,
Yeah, like a day or two after the other, like the Crooks assassination?
he was arrested one day before
Yeah.
Crooks attempted to
Okay.
assassinate Donald Trump.
Yeah.
The FBI says they haven't found a connection to this dude in Crooks yet. I think the guy was arrested in Houston, not Pennsylvania. or
Oh,
anything
what if
like
Crooks was one of the dudes that came and sucked his dick?
that. Right. I wouldn't put it past him.
It could be.
I mean,
think we're connecting some dots here.
But no, court documents just got unsealed. He was arrested July 12th. He came over in April. According to the complaint, quote, specifically, merchant requested men who could do the killing. He was looking for approximately 25 people who could perform a protest as a distraction after the murder occurred, and a woman to, quote, do reconnaissance. He allegedly told the source,
He was
quote,
going to get 26 people in on it.
this is why I'm starting to think it's fucking ridiculous.
I need a big team. Big.
Yeah, dude.
Yes,
You're like, what do you, yeah.
He was going to do a flash dance, a flash mob.
Try to keep a secret between. I mean, dude, imagine flying to a fucking foreign country, okay, to plan an assassination against the former president of that country, and thinking you're going to be able to get 25 folks involved and not get fucking busted.
As many random people as possible, please bring them to me.
This guy's a moron.
He's a moron.
We'll
So
do the choreography.
he allegedly told the confidential informant, quote, people who will be targeted are the ones who are hurting Pakistan and the Muslim world. These are not normal people. And by mid-June, he met up with the confidential informants, or I guess confidential informants handed him off to undercover law enforcement, and he paid them
So the
$5.
whole time he's just telling.
He's there from April to June trying to get 25 people to kill the president.
Yeah, if you're trying to recruit 25 guys, you're going to get caught.
And one woman for reconnaissance.
Yeah.
They won't suspect her.
Yeah.
He paid the undercovers $5,000 as an advance, which again,
What a deal.
Right, we're not a deal because just $5,000 to kill the president.
Yeah, that's some deal for him.
Well, look, it was an advance. He said he was gonna pay up to $100,000 for, quote, yarn dyed clothing. That was his code word, if you will. And he told the confidential informant, this was not a one-on-one
for the flash mob.
Right. This is not a one-on-one. He said, this is not a one-time opportunity. It would be an ongoing. And then he made a finger motion with his hand, like a finger gun.
Take out everyone that's
Right.
Okay.
Look, you will get to suck a lot of my dicks. Okay. This is going to happen. A lot. Okay, so that's why I think it's ridiculous, right? So it wasn't just Trump, okay? It was multiple political officials. He ended up in the Dateline trap. He paid them $5,000 with a potential to earn $100,000. I mean, dude, this is he could be just a fucking
For such
lone
a big
crazy
cranium,
dude.
what's he got? Shit filled in his brains?
Yeah, he looks so smart, but
Just
he's
a hollow.
I mean, if there's one thing we learned about 9/11, right? It's like legitimate attacks on this country are extremely fucking organized. You don't just send one shithead to Houston to get on Craigslist and get his dick sucked a bunch, and then to hand out $5,000 cash.
There was an insane clip that listener Jack DM'd us on Twitter from the Joe Rogan show about the inbreeding in Pakistani communities, and they say that it makes mental retardation like 4 times more likely. Maybe
if you're at first cousin level or even closer, it's 400% more likely to have an IQ lower than 70 than someone that's not bred. The statistics about the Pakistani inbreeding, I almost didn't believe. It was just like, what?
It was from the BBC though.
I know.
Nuts.
That's crazy.
That's
Well, anyway, look, the FBI has a history of entrapping people. It's usually not foreign national. I mean, it's not nationals usually. It's usually Americans who they entrap. But I don't know if this happened, but this guy's clearly an idiot, and this plot seems a little fucking crazy.
Complete moron.
Yeah, glad we got to laugh at him.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you, Pat. Let's move on to the last segment of the day. Surprise! It's about surprises. As we covered at the top, sometimes good, most of the time bad. But if you are one random Indian man or the creator of Ask Jeeves, these surprises about some updates we've talked about on the show are going to make your day.
You say Ask Jeeves?
Ask Jeeves, yeah.
Do you remember what happened if you would ask Jeeves if he was gay?
No, what did he say?
What happened?
I'll look it up. It was great.
I don't think I ever got a
Huge
good
day for Jeeves.
I don't think I ever got a good response from Jeeves. Like I've never asked Jeeves something where he then gave me what I was looking for.
Jeeves would give me all kinds of tips back in the day.
Jeeves was about 3,000 times worse than the company you're about to mention.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get
Yes,
to them.
Jeeves,
Dude,
dude.
Jeeves didn't know shit.
Pat, what did he say? What did he say?
I'm trying to find it. It was great. Jeeves would be a political enemy today if he was still around. I guarantee that.
Jeeves was great. All right, first up, you guys remember Lalita Kai Kumar, the 50-year-old American woman who was found chained to a tree in Maharashtra, India last month?
Of course. Claimed she had no water and food for 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she did claim that, Mark. After several days in hospital treatment, Lalita finally let it slip to the doctors and the cops that she had actually tied herself up there and was, quote unquote, probably hallucinating. Later, when she wrote the note blaming her husband for tying and chaining her up.
Wasn't Satish?
It was Satish in the note, her husband, Satish. Turns out the husband was made up too, Mark. She doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have an Indian husband at all. Completely.
Oh, my God.
She was just a Massachusetts girl who went to India, to Maharashtra, India, to study yoga about 10 years ago. And now she's upset about her visa expiring. So she chained herself to a tree for multiple weeks to starve to death in India. But then she started screaming for some farmers who did come and find her. She's totally fine now, just walking around the hospital, fit as a fiddle, being totally insane. And yeah,
that should Satish her a lesson.
Shit sure should, Pat. The U.S. State Department has not commented on what's next for totally insane Lolita, citing her right to privacy.
I don't think anyone knows.
Let her stay. Let her stay. Extend the visa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's entertaining for us. It's really great news, though, for whatever Indian man was about to get framed for her murder. Because
they were looking for
chaining her out.
Everyone named Satish was getting questioned because they were looking for him.
Exactly. Lots of Satishas in India breathing a sigh of relief. So
yeah. Whoa.
No husband for her. Surprise, surprise. Next up.
See, we correct ourselves when we find new information.
That's it. That's just an update. That's new news. Yeah. She changed her story. Next up, Google search. That's the one Mark was referring to earlier. Has officially been ruled a monopoly by U.S. federal courts. Federal judge Amit Mehta, which is Judge Mehta, which is an awesome name. He ruled in the case, citing Google's dominance and the links they go to in order to stay dominant in search features, spending $26.3 billion in 2021 alone to remain, the default search engine on almost everything. So Judge Mehta said Google is a monopolist and it has acted as one to maintain its monopoly. And fun fact, Google controls about 90% of online search markets just through the web and 95% on smartphones. So they really are a monopoly. I mean, there's no
right. Do you remember that ruling against Microsoft in the 90s by Judge Intel? Do you remember that when Judge Intel?
No. Did Judge Mehta also say, "Look what you did to Jeeves"?
Yes. I think Mehta is like me, a huge Jeeves guy. He just wanted to get back to Google.
How do you sleep at night? What you did to Jeeves?
Bring him back, dude.
Yeah.
Also, dude, Judge Mehta, not like that's just an amazing name, Judge Mehta, because outside of Meta, I guess is the company. It's like you're the best judge.
He looks judgmental.
Yeah, he sure does. Look, he's the only judge I've seen with a butt chin so strong it looks like a soul patch.
Fingers
like
that's clasped.
Yeah, that's an intimidating judge right there.
Judge Mehta, don't you think you should recuse yourself from this case?
No, you're right, Pat. Because
Judge Siri.
Yeah.
There may be conflicts of interest, as you point out, Pat, because this is tough news for Google, but it may only be the tip of the iceberg, as The Verge reports that, quote, major antitrust litigation is also pending against Apple, Amazon, and Meta. So the recusal coming. And Google itself will face another trial in September, next time over its ad tech. So neither presidential candidate seems likely to stand in the way of any of these rulings, especially Trump. He's got an axe to grind with almost every single online platform. So rougher seas ahead for big tech potentially.
Dude, by the way, did anyone see Mark Zuckerberg covering his ass in interviews recently about Trump? He's been like, it's just that photo after he got up was badass.
Yeah.
Well, that's because
Are you hedging?
Yeah.
Are you hedging?
He's surfing with the American flag. He's drinking.
He's for sure hedging on the election. Yeah, he's hedging on the election because it's a coin flip in Vegas, and he probably goes by the odds. But
yeah,
he also had to backtrack and probably grovel a little bit because Meta labeled labeled the assassination attempt as false news initially.
Right,
Like they
right,
had some kind of fuck up there and how they handled it that day. So
I'll tell you who's next in line for the chopping block. I mean, Google does have a monopoly. They also had a monopoly on better search results than Jeeves, but they do have a huge monopoly, and they control, like they do some controlling of who gets on the front pages and stuff. They do some friend nepotism,
just a little bit
of nepotism type thing, and
just
who
a
pays.
little.
So they do have a monopoly, but ChatGPT is not too far behind them. I started to notice that ChatGPT is starting to get on phones like automatically, like a Siri. Like ChatGPT is gonna be the next Google.
They might be the next.
And I know
monopoly.
that, Pat, they pull from other sources, but so does Google. ChatGPT is about to be the next monopoly.
No, I love it. Look, the best thing for the American worker is breaking up monopolies. This is great. Also, let's talk about idiots of the day. Interactive, who bought Ask Jeeves for $2 billion in 2005.
Jeeves got paid, baby. So Jeeves didn't get fucked after all. Love it.
Jeeves is out there. Jeeves is out there looking for assassins, if you know what I'm saying, on Craigslist.
I remember typing in something into Jeeves, like, like who won the game or whatever. Like, and Jeeves would return back paraphrased things, not even links, that were just different. And they gave me like six different answers that were like, did you mean to type
his own
this in?
style, Mark.
Yeah.
You had to get down with Jeeves' style if you wanted to use it.
It was impossible.
He was a little useful. I remember the days. I can't wait for the days of Ask Jeeves to come back. And that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. As always, go to patreon.com/hardfactor to get more episodes. Jimmy Friday in the live chat says, I had to go back to 2019 to start listening to back episodes of Hard Factor because I got a fever and the only prescription was more Hard Factor. That's right. And that's why you can go to patreon.com/hardfactor. If you want to get bonus episodes that are real time, we do up to 3 a week and sometimes more. There's trivia, there's Discord chat access. You can play fantasy football with us in the fantasy football thread in the Discord server. Try to be the champion of the entire Hardo Hive. It's pretty fun. We have like shitloads of teams every year. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. There's cash.
The weekly parlay is coming back. We almost all got rich on the weekly parlay.
Weekly parlays. There's a lot of things that we do in there that you can only know about and get in on if you go to patreon.com/hardfactor and join the Discord server. But most importantly, get out there and have yourselves a great fucking day.